going on, everyone? So today we got to talk about SQD. This is Squid, or formerly known as Subsquid, but we're going to talk about this. It's pumping massively right now, literally up 68% in the last 24 hours. So let's go over this. One of the if not one of the largest coins here on Arbitrum, which is pretty big because it's like the only one that I've noticed on Arbitrum, right? But let's talk about this. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Let's go straight over this project. So as you already know, I just mentioned this is on Arbitrum. This is the largest, probably largest coin on Arbitrum, right? Native Arbitrum coin. So we've been seeing massive numbers here. 68.8% in the last 24 hours, 180% in the last 7 days, 176% in the last 14 days, 143% in the last 30, and 408% in the last year. So this thing is massive. Yeah, it's doing massive numbers. You can see over here 223 million inside of 24-hour trading volume, 177 million in market cap. So the trading volume is larger than the market cap, almost larger than the fully diluted value. That's crazy. But yeah, this thing is doing big numbers. I made a video on this thing before a while ago, and I can't remember what price it was at, but it was probably not as much as it is now. Like, this thing is literally going crazy. But anyways, let's talk about where I think Subsquid is gonna go next. Well, Squid. They don't call themselves Subsquid no more, but they call themselves Squid, right? And for those that don't know, it's an AI coin here. It's an AI coin. Subsquid is SQD, the data lake for AI agents, the first emergent and open database network. Kind of just had to give y'all a breakdown before I just hop straight into the technicals, right? So yeah, this is one of the top AI coins out there right now. So let's talk about the technicals now. Now that we got all the fluff out of the way. So currently, Subsquid, doing pretty good right here. You can see it kind of got rejected at that 23 cent resistance level. It hit 25, but it kind of went right back below that resistance up there. So what we are seeing inside of the MACD, a lot of buying pressure here on the daily chart. So that's very, very good. The %R trend exhaustion was oversold and over exhausted to the downside for a long time. From August until now, it's been oversold right down here, over exhausted on the downside, and it stayed down there for a long time. So that's what gave it the momentum to actually pump and do what it's doing currently right now. So we are seeing the next pump right now. So what I'm looking for here is another move to the upside, because the %R trend exhaustion here is actually still pretty bullish. It's still on the up and up, right? It's still on a current uptrend with the %R trend exhaustion on the daily chart. So this could indicate that we have a possibility to get to that 28 cent resistance. Well, 29 cents resistance. Technically 30. Let's just say 30. But technically it's 29 cents. But anyways, it does look like we have a possibility to get up there. Some selling pressure has came in for Subsquid. Well, let's just say Squid. Some selling pressure has came through on the MACD. So you definitely want to be wary of that. Definitely pay attention, because look, this pullback here was an immediate rise upwards. It pulled back to that 12 cent level down there, and then immediately came back. So right now, the %R trend exhaustion right here for the 4-hour chart is kind of getting stopped out a little bit here. So that is the first sign of bearish weakness here. Now, if we look over here at the 2-hour chart, we see even more selling pressure on the MACD. On the 2-hour chart, even more pullback and selling pressure here on the %R trend exhaustion for the 2-hour chart. So that's a bearish signal. So on the 2-hour chart, it's looking pretty, I don't want to say pretty bearish, because it could keep going. It could keep running, right? Anyways, on the hourly chart now, this is when things really start to look interesting. Selling pressure is coming in for the hourly chart. So there's a possibility that Squid, let's just call it Squid could actually pull back. There is a possibility that we could see a harder pullback here, especially because the %R trend exhaustion just gave us that sell signal. That's a sell signal on the %R trend exhaustion. When we see that red rectangle with the red down arrow, that is a sell signal for the %R trend exhaustion. So, be aware of that. But look, this is for the hourly chart. We seen the 2 hour, it looked decent. 4 hours nice and bullish, and the daily was nice and bullish. So technically, on the long term, Squid is bullish. But when we're looking at the short term currently, there are some things that you want to be aware of and that you want to watch out for. Now, the selling is speeding up on the 30-minute chart. So again, the short term looks bearish, but the long term here looks bullish. So just remember that. You can see the percent R trend exhaustion is coming down here with the short term trend, and the long term trend almost looks like it wants to turn back upwards. So this is why I'm like, hey, the short term might be a little bit bearish now, but just know that the long term trend is trying to continue on an uptrend. So be aware of that. Again, 29 cents could be coming soon, but first we got to get rid of this short term bearishness, right? And then we can see the 15-minute chart is kind of almost leveled out. So that's a good thing there. But yeah, like I said, this thing does look pretty bullish on the long term, and they got a pretty good narrative. They got some big numbers backing them right now. So the only thing you got to really worry about is the short term. But yeah, on the long term is looking pretty nice. It's pretty nice. Lots of buying pressure on the MACD for the long term. We can see the percent R trend exhaustion is in that current uptrend here. It should come all the way up here to the top of this, just kind of like how I did back here and right here. So I'm really expecting the long term to continue to rise, but in the short term, I'm expecting some type of pullback, kind of like how we did back here. So let's go ahead and bring back the 2 hour. So just how we see in that pump, followed by a pullback, leveled out at 12 cents. Last time we were at 12 cents, we had solid support there. So it's obvious that 12 cents becomes a solid support. Another area where we've seen some solid support, which we got to remember, 18 cents. So if we pull back, we could pull back to 18 cents, that Fibonacci resistance there. And then we had decent support, I want to say solid, also at 15 cents. So to kind of break down the short term, if we are to pull back on the short term, right, let's go back over here to the hourly. If we were to pull back for the short term, we could possibly pull back first to this support here at 18 cents. And then if we can't recover from there, we could see a pullback to 16 cents, well, 15. And then if we can't recover from there, then it's back to the strong support at 12 cents. But I don't think that it will pull back down to 12 cents. But 12 cents, if it does, it's a very strong support area. But yeah, the hourly chart is looking pretty bearish. You can just see all that selling pressure forming up there on the MACD, and the percent R trend exhaustion just gave us that signal. So I am expecting some type of short-term pullback followed by a possible pump from there. But if it's not strong enough, we could have another pullback. So watch out for these three levels: 18 cents on the first pullback, if there is, 15 cents on the second, if there is, and then 12 cents on the third, if there is that many pullbacks. But if we come back to 18 cents and just have a pump from there, expect 30 cents. And then the next area after 30 cents is not going to be at the Fibonacci. We actually had a different area up here. So if we were to break past the 29 cents, remember that's like new all-time highs. It's going to probably enter like price discovery mode, right? We're going to be at new all-time highs, and it's going to be price discovery mode from that point on. So it could be an immediate rise to 45-cent resistance, or that this thing could blow past that. So we got to pay attention to what happens next. But yeah, this is all I got for you all today. Definitely hit the like button and subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Leave a comment in the comment section, all that good stuff. And as always, I'll be back with another video.